Hey folks, welcome to week 5 of DMD100, Intro to Digital Media Design. Alright, so what are we doing this week? Let's go down to the week 5 module and take a look. Go to the week 5 overview. Okay, so this is a media analysis week. This is our very first media analysis. Remember, there are 4 of these for the semester, just like there are 4 discussion boards. So 4 media analysis, 4 discussion boards. This is our first media analysis. And of course, the topic for this one is television. So you are going to work with some classmates. You can buddy up with some classmates to work on this. You could work on it individually if you would like, or you can buddy up with some friends in class, and you're going to deconstruct, analyze, and document a given piece of media. You're going to get a choice of television programs to watch, and you can answer some questions and do some thinking about it. Before we get into that, we'll go over the details of that in a minute. Your consumable for the week is this video here, The Art of Film and TV Title Design. Of course, the end goal of our semester-long project is you're going to be making a title sequence for your newly imagined TV show or movie that you chose last week. And so this is just more sort of textbook reading, as it were, for that end, just to get a little more familiar with TV title design. So watch this video. It's super useful and very helpful. Due at the end of this week is step 2 of that semester project, which we're going to review right now. But you should be working on it anyway. Okay, so let's take a look and we'll hop over there. So let's look at that first. Okay, so step 2 of our semester-long project. So remember, you finished step 1 at the end of last week. Step 1 was to choose one of the given TV shows or movies and reimagine it as under a new genre and subgenre and write up a 1-page plot summary about it. So you did that. So now you have that done. You know what movie or TV show you're working on. You understand what your new story is all about or what your updated story is all about. So now step 2 that we're going to do this week, that is due at the end of the week, end of the day, Friday, is you're going to create a research collection. So now that you have sort of imagined this new movie or TV show, your client is now sort of officially, and it's an imaginary client, is officially asking you to create the title sequence. So with your plot summary in hand, the one that you wrote last week, you're now going to go about researching some topics that are related to the film or the TV show, and you're going to make some collections. You are going to start collecting photography or illustrations or graphics that could be useful or that you find inspiring toward creating your title sequence. Now, in the end, you may end up using some of this collection in your title sequence, or it might just simply serve as inspiration for you moving forward, kind of like a mood board, right? So we're going to collect some imagery, illustrations, graphics, whatever you think is cool and interesting that makes sense for your updated story. You're also going to decide on some colors, right? Because you're going to be working within a certain type of color palette. Now you can pull colors from the imagery that you collect, or you can do it the other way around. You can sort of decide on a color palette that you find interesting and then go look for images that sort of fall into that color palette. You're going to need some typography choices, some font choices, because you do have to put up the names of the actors, the title of the movie, and sort of the basics into your title sequence. And so you should pick some fonts that make sense for your theme of your movie or TV show, right? And you're going to go looking for some music clips or some sound effects that you can also use in your title sequence. So you're going to collect all of these elements together that could serve as inspiration and, of course, could be used in your title sequence. So before we get into the actual collection, let's make sure we're clear on what a title sequence is. This section of the handout here explains exactly what a title sequence is. So title sequences, which are also called opening sequences or intro sequences, is the method by which films and television programs present their title, their key production members, and cast members. Now, historically, these were not really creative. They just were, you know, a colored background or a black background with some type over it. You know, the name of the movie, starring this person and this person, directed by so-and-so, written by so-and-so, and that's it. But then over time, these title sequences started becoming platforms for creativity, bits of moving graphic design, as originated by people like Saul Bass and his wife. Who you'll learn about as we go along here in this semester. So now, of course, title sequences are just an opportunity for more creativity to get into the movie at the beginning, either before the movie starts or after a cold opening or whatnot. Now, of course, the best way to learn about title sequences is to look at some title sequences. So these links here in the handout will help you out with that. This here, TV show opening title sequences, is a collection of television show title sequences that are really cool and interesting. So this is a YouTube channel. Go to this. You can check out a whole bunch of them. Also, this one here is top 10 TV show title sequence intros. This is an article about it that has a bunch of YouTube videos linked, so that is also helpful. I also linked some specific ones that I happen to like that I think are very visually interesting. This one is from Marvel's TV show from a couple of years ago, Daredevil, which is really well done. This is from the movie Catch Me If You Can from 2002. This is from the movie The Royal Tenenbaums from 2001. And this is from X-Men First Class in 2011. All really interesting title sequences. And then the first two links were about TV show title sequences. This last link is a collection of movie title sequences. So set aside some time this week to just sort of spend time checking these out. See what you like, what you don't like, what style you're drawn to. Just, again, inspiration. This whole week is about soaking in inspiration. Okay. And of course, if you want to learn some more about the making of title sequences, this is a great video about how to make your own title sequence and the theory behind them. I would strongly recommend consuming this since, of course, we are going to be making our own title sequence toward the end of the semester. Okay, and a little bit about closing credits, because some people get confused about the difference between a title sequence and a closing credit. As the names imply, the title sequence happens at the beginning of the movie, the closing credits happen at the end of the movie, but really from a creative point of view, they're almost identical. In fact, a lot of times the artistic choices from the first one will carry over into the second one. So you'll see that a lot. Not all movies have creative closing credits. A lot of times it's just sort of a black background with scrolling text. But a lot of times they are used, again, as another opportunity for some creativity. Some closing credits will also sometimes divert from standard form and include things like illustration, extra scenes from the movie that you didn't see in the movie, blooper reels, right? A lot of times comedies will have blooper reels at the end, which are kind of funny. Joke credits, credits that are meant to be silly. And of course, post-credit scenes, which certain movies, like all the Marvel Cinematic movies, are known for. You wait till the end of the credits, and there's another scene that sort of gives you more information. So closing credits can be even more creative than title sequences because they offer an opportunity for a little more fun, because the movie's over. So really, what do they got to lose at that point? They can just sort of have a little bit of extra fun with the audience. Okay, so back to your collection of stuff that you're going to be making. So now that you're familiar with what title sequences are and you've spent some time really watching a whole bunch of them and understanding what the art form is, you're going to create this research collection with as much collateral as you can put together that will act as inspiration and raw material for your upcoming title sequence. So make a folder on your computer, name it, semester project or something like that, and just start going out there and searching for imagery, graphics, colors, fonts, music, sounds, and whatnot that you can put into that folder and then have it ready to go for your sort of inspiration and title sequence content. Now, of course, you can do your research from anywhere, but make sure that whatever you find, you cite your sources. I strongly recommend using Citation Machine, which is an online citation website that allows you to cite not only traditional things like textbooks and magazines and journals, but also things like websites and a variety of other things. So since we're finding sort of multimedia content, this is a great way to cite. So make sure you open up like a Microsoft Word document and keep a running list of where all your sources come from, okay? So you want to keep sort of a collection of citations. Now, as far as where to find the stuff, you can find open source, meaning free to use, photography from places like Unsplash or Pexels. You can also find photography as well as vector graphics and short video clips from this place Pixabay. So you can certainly use all of these now. Unsplash and Pexels, you do not have to sign up for an account. You can just navigate over to their website and then go right ahead and start searching and finding. But Pixabay, you do have to sign up, but it's free to sign up, and they have some great collection of images, vector graphics, and video clips. And recently, Pexels has just added video clips as well to their collection. Now, you can use video clips in your title sequence as well as still photography, and I would encourage you to sort of mix and match them to get just the right sort of look. No matter where you get your photography or graphics or illustrations or video clips from, make sure that they all look like they will work together. Meaning that if you have, a video of a car driving down a highway on a moody evening and it's darkly lit, and it has like a lot of blues and purples in the color theme, and then you want to cut to another picture of a similar car driving down a different road, but maybe that is shot in a less moody way, and maybe it's bright and sunny and fun and happy. Well, those two clips aren't going to go together, right? Because they seem like they come from different scenes. So try to choose photography and images and video clips that work well together, that make sense together, right? That look as if they could possibly be done by the same people. This will create some cohesion in your final title sequence. So spend a lot of time looking around at these collections. There's a ton of stuff you can choose from. Just make sure you're making smart choices, okay? Now, so that takes care of the visuals. Now let's talk about the audio. So there's these two locations here, Audio Archive and Free Sound. Audio Archive is an eclectic collection of everything from old-time radio shows to Russian audiobooks to Grateful Dead concerts. Literally, when I say it's eclectic, it's all over the place. So you can find all sorts of neat and interesting things that you can cut up and use in your title sequence. So check that out. Now, if you're just looking for sound effects, like a car horn or a cow or some thunder and lightning or something that's just plain old sound effects, Free Sound is a great resource for that. So check those out. And naturally, outside of those resources, you are, of course, encouraged to create your own collateral. Shoot your own photographs. Do your own illustrations. Make your own sound effects. I would certainly not stop you from making your own stuff. Okay, so that is part 2. That's what you're going to do this week, is really just research, collect, and collect. Lots to do this week as far as that goes. Okay, now the other thing this week to look at here is that media analysis. Like I said, you're going to choose one of the following television episodes below, which we'll get to in a second. You're going to watch it once for enjoyment, and then 1 or 2 more times taking notes as you go. Now again, you can do this by yourself, or if you want to buddy up with 1 or 2 other classmates, you can do it as a group project. Each of you, though, has to turn in the final project to get credit for it. One person can't turn in the work, and then I'm going to know who the other people are. Even if you tell me who's in the group, I still need everybody to turn in the final analysis. So if you're going to work on it as a team, make sure that everybody uploads their final version to Canvas, okay? You decide whether you want to work on it alone or as a group. It's totally up to you. Be sure to pay attention to the details referenced in the questions below. Probably read through these questions first before you watch the episode so you kind of know what you're looking for, right? So after you've watched the show a couple of times, discuss with your group, if you're working with a group, or think to yourself, sort of what it's all about. Keep an eye towards deconstruction and analyzation and documentation, as well as enjoyment and fun, right? And then these are the questions you're going to answer. They're under different categories. There's a few questions under story and genre, critical orientation, organization, context, aesthetic, and analysis. There are no specifically right answers here. Your job here is to critically watch the show and really think about these questions and answer them in as much detail and thoughtfulness as you possibly can, okay? Now, once you're all done answering the questions, you are at the end of the week. You're going to turn in your results. Your group might be asked to talk about your results in class, so be prepared to talk about your results. But at minimum, you have to turn in your answers on a Word document with the names of everybody who's involved, yourself, any group members, on the Word document with all the answers to the questions. Now, if you want to get a little fancy, instead of doing a Word document, you can turn it into a visual presentation using PowerPoint or Google Slides. That would be great, and you will certainly get extra credit for it if you go that route. Make sure you include the name and title of the media that you are reviewing, the year that it was created, and who created it, where it came from, okay? And again, remember, everything gets uploaded to Canvas. Now, what are the TV shows you can pick from? Here they are here. The first one is an episode of The Waltons from 1971, which is it's actually the pilot for the show. It's season 1, episode 00. Barney Miller from 1976, season 3, episode 7. A TV show called Taxi from 1978. MASH, one of the greatest shows ever, from 1981. St. Elsewhere from 1982, and a show Eli Stone from 2008. As you can see, these progressively go through time from more recent to older. You may have heard of some of these shows, maybe you haven't, maybe it'll be the first time you watch it. So choose whichever one you want, and that is the one you're going to analyze this week. Okay? You have all week to work on the media analysis, so take your time, put together your team, make sure you've watched it a couple of times, and really put a lot of thought into the answers. Okay, so that's it for this week. Media analysis, and finish up step 2 of your semester project. If you have any questions, thoughts, concerns, or whatever, you know where to find me. Mondays and Fridays, office hours on Zoom, and I will see you in class.